The Belgian Malinois was never designed to be a household pet. It was bred for purpose, precision, and an unshakable drive that few humans can truly understand. In the green farmlands of Belgium over a century ago, this breed first emerged among shepherds who valued work ethic over appearance. They needed a dog that could outthink predators, outlast the cold, and respond to commands before they were spoken. The Malinois wasn't shaped by comfort. It was forged by necessity. Each generation carried forward the instincts of a guardian, a thinker, and a relentless worker. Its early breeders never imagined it sleeping on couches or walking city streets. They bred it to move, to herd, to chase, to protect. That's where the story begins. With a dog that could read its master's intention through body language alone. A glance, a hand signal, a shift of breath, and the Malinois was already in motion. Unlike most dogs that wait to be told, the Malinois anticipates. It lives in the half-second between thought and action, always ready to execute. That instinct made it invaluable to farmers, but it also set the stage for something much larger. As Europe industrialized, the Malinois found a new calling beyond the fields. Military trainers saw potential, a perfect balance of stamina, intelligence, and loyalty. During the World Wars, these dogs carried messages, guarded bases, and tracked wounded soldiers through chaos. They were silent partners in the darkest hours of human conflict. Their courage wasn't taught, it was innate. By the mid-1900s, the Malinois had evolved from farmhand to soldier. Armies across Europe began breeding and training them for service work, recognizing the unmatched focus that defined the breed. It wasn't strength alone that made them exceptional. It was precision. A Malinois doesn't simply obey. It calculates, then commits with absolute confidence. That mental clarity is what separates it from other working breeds. Where others may hesitate, a Malinois reads the environment like a chessboard. In police units, that ability became legendary. The breed could detect hidden explosives, locate missing persons, and disarm suspects before human officers reacted. But power always comes with misunderstanding. People saw the fearlessness without seeing the discipline behind it. They began adopting Malinois as pets, unaware that this was not a typical companion. Without structure, the same intelligence that saves lives can turn restless and destructive. A Malinois without a mission will create one. It doesn't relax, it redirects. That's why trainers emphasize mental stimulation over affection. This breed measures love through shared purpose, not constant praise. To live with a Malinois is to live with intention. Every walk, every play session, every command must have meaning. Handlers who succeed learn a language of respect rather than dominance. They guide through calm energy, not force. Because this is not a dog you command, it's a dog you collaborate with. The line between human and animal becomes almost telepathic. In elite units worldwide, that connection defines life and death. From SWAT operations to counterterrorism missions, the Malinois performs with surgical focus. Its body becomes an extension of training, its instincts tuned to microsignals. A heartbeat too fast, and it knows something is wrong. Many say the Malinois doesn't just obey commands, it senses intent. That's why handlers trust them in chaos more than technology. Every leap through a window, every controlled takedown is built on mutual trust. The dog acts because it believes, not because it fears. That belief is earned through thousands of hours together. Training begins not with aggression, but with play, bonding, and consistency. Only when trust is absolute does obedience reach perfection. That's why the best handlers call their Malinois not pets, but partners. Each mission reinforces that silent bond. Each success deepens the connection until words are no longer needed. But outside those professional circles, few understand what that bond demands. Movies and viral clips turned the Malinois into a symbol of power, stripping away the discipline behind it. People began chasing the image without respecting the reality. They wanted the hero dog, without the hero's commitment. The result was predictable: overwhelmed owners, surrendered dogs, and broken trust. Rescues filled with Malinois that had never been given purpose. A bored Malinois can outthink fences, locks, and even owners. It needs a challenge every single day. or its genius turns inward. Trainers often compare them to elite athletes. Without daily exercise and mental goals, they spiral into frustration. It's not aggression, it's unspent drive. That's what many fail to grasp. The Malinois doesn't misbehave out of rebellion, but out of unmet potential. To understand this breed, you must redefine what enough means. For most dogs, an hour's walk satisfies. For a Malinois, that's a warm-up. They crave not just activity, but purpose, a puzzle, a mission, a job. Their satisfaction comes from completing a task that challenges both mind and muscle. That's why even playtime feels like work to them. Fetch isn't fun unless it's earned through discipline. They respect structure the way soldiers respect orders, not out of fear, but because order gives meaning to chaos. This mindset makes them both extraordinary and exhausting. Living with a Malinois means accepting that peace comes through precision. They thrive in environments where calm and consistency rule. Anxious energy or unpredictable households confuse and frustrate them. That's why trainers teach owners to master themselves first. A Malinois mirrors emotion. Your tension becomes its tension. When you're grounded, it becomes unstoppable. When you're unstable, it becomes uncontrollable. This emotional intelligence makes them uniquely sensitive. They don't just follow gestures, they absorb your state of mind. That's the hidden layer behind their legendary obedience. It's not mechanical, it's emotional synchronization. Such attunement explains why they excel in service and therapy roles too. They can detect human distress, anxiety, or pain faster than many trained specialists. In hospitals and rehabilitation centers, they shift from warrior to guardian. Their presence alone calms patients, proving that power and gentleness coexist. This duality, strength and empathy, defines the true Malinois spirit. It's what breeders protect and what owners must learn to honor. From the Belgian countryside to global recognition, that spirit hasn't changed, only our perception has. Modern society celebrates convenience, but the Malinois represents commitment. It asks more of us than we often ask of ourselves. That's why those who truly bond with this breed never go back. They find in it a reflection of discipline, courage, and unspoken loyalty. The Malinois doesn't just live with you, it lives for you, but only if you earn that privilege. Every command it follows is built on consistency. Every ounce of trust must be renewed daily through fairness and respect. The moment that balance breaks, the partnership falters. Yet when maintained, it becomes something almost spiritual. That connection has inspired soldiers, handlers, and ordinary people alike. Because through the Malinois, we glimpse what loyalty at its purest looks like. The story of the Belgian Malinois is not about domination. It's about alignment. Two beings working toward one purpose. And in that unity lies its true strength. Not in power, but in partnership. The Belgian Malinois didn't ask to become famous. Fame found it through viral clips, police footage, and hero stories that traveled faster than truth. People watched a Malinois leap from helicopters or scale walls and thought they saw a trick. They didn't realize they were witnessing generations of selection, discipline, and partnership condensed into seconds. The breed became an internet legend overnight, but behind every clip was a lifetime of preparation, sweat, and quiet consistency. As the spotlight grew, so did the misunderstanding. People began buying them as status symbols, proof of strength rather than partners in purpose. Shelters across continents filled with abandoned Malinois. Owners discovered too late that love alone could not replace structure. Without training, that intelligence turns inward. A Malinois with no mission becomes a storm without direction. It chews not from mischief but from frustration. It runs not to escape but to find purpose it was never given. This tragedy repeats itself in countries around the world. Every time the breed goes viral, rescues brace for the aftermath. Trainers plead for awareness, not against the breed, but for its protection. They remind the world that owning a Malinois is a responsibility measured in hours of work, not moments of admiration. Those who succeed understand one truth. Control is an illusion. Partnership is the only path forward. The most balanced Malinois owners don't dominate. They communicate. They reward patience, consistency, and mental challenge over force. To train a Malinois well, you must train yourself better. Every command you give reflects your discipline more than the dog's obedience. The breed thrives on calm authority. When you lead with emotion, it resists. When you lead with clarity, it follows. That mirror effect changes people. Many handlers say their Malinois made them more disciplined, more centered, more aware. It teaches through reflection, not rebellion. When you rush, it stumbles. When you breathe, it aligns. This symbiosis blurs the boundary between species. The human learns control through empathy, and the dog learns empathy through structure. That's why elite forces across the world rely on them. In the United States, Israel, Belgium, and beyond, Malinois serve in missions too dangerous for hesitation. Their courage doesn't come from aggression, it comes from trust. They move toward danger not for glory, but because their handler does. In the chaos of battlefields and raids, they embody loyalty beyond comprehension. And yet, when the mission ends, they revert instantly to calm. That emotional switch is rare in animals, a sign of true stability. It's what makes them both warriors and companions. When retired, many find homes with their former handlers. The bond formed in discipline becomes a bond of love. These dogs may lose their uniforms, but they never lose purpose. They adapt, still guarding, still watching, still waiting for the next signal. The transformation from war zone to family home reveals their depth. Even after years of intensity, they can be gentle with children, loyal to elders, and protective without aggression. That adaptability is often overlooked. People see their muscles before their minds, their drive before their devotion. But the Malinois has a heart as vast as its focus. It doesn't love lightly, but when it does, it's for life. Handlers who've worked with them say the connection is almost spiritual. It feels less like ownership and more like partnership written in instinct. Every glance holds understanding. Every silence feels like communication. That's why losing a Malinois cuts so deep. You don't just lose a pet, you lose a reflection of your own discipline and trust. In memorial services for fallen canines, the emotion rivals that of any human hero, because those who have stood beside them know the price of loyalty. The Malinois gives everything without hesitation, and when it falls having fulfilled its purpose completely. That unwavering devotion has inspired stories, films, and tributes, but even the most dramatic retelling can't capture the quiet truth of daily life with one. It's not constant action, it's constant awareness. Not endless barking, but endless readiness. A Malinois doesn't rest because the world never stops. It's always assessing, always thinking, always preparing for the next command. Even in peace, it remains vigilant. That's not anxiety, it's legacy. Each muscle movement, each flick of an ear, carries the memory of generations bred for vigilance. It's a reminder that nature remembers purpose more than comfort. And yet, within that purpose lies beauty. Watching a Malinois work is like watching instinct and intellect perform in harmony. There's rhythm in its movements, every leap calculated, every turn deliberate. It doesn't waste energy, it channels it. That efficiency makes the breed mesmerizing. It's why cinematographers, trainers, and military leaders alike describe it as poetry in motion. But poetry can't be caged. When misunderstood, it loses meaning and turns chaotic. That's the tragedy of the modern Malinois boom. The very traits that make it remarkable also make it fragile in the wrong hands. It's a breed that amplifies both your strengths and your flaws. It doesn't follow leaders, it exposes them. That's why experienced handlers often say, "You don't train a Malinois, you earn one." Earning means patience, humility, and relentless consistency. The breed will test you in silence. It will ignore weak energy and respond only to conviction. That demand for inner balance changes people over time. Many discover that in teaching control, the Malinois teaches peace. The reward isn't just obedience, it's harmony. A daily rhythm where trust replaces tension and purpose replaces chaos. This transformation explains why people dedicate their lives to these dogs. They don't just train them, they evolve with them. For law enforcement, they remain indispensable. For families with discipline and time, they become protectors unmatched in loyalty. But they must never be seen as status symbols. Each one represents a lineage of labor, focus, and sacrifice. The Belgian Malinois is not luxury, it is legacy. It asks for respect, not recognition. When treated with that reverence, it reveals a soul few creatures possess, a soul defined by courage, clarity, and compassion. Even at rest, a Malinois radiates awareness. Its gaze is calm but unblinking, as if guarding something eternal. That's what captivates those who truly see it. Behind those amber eyes lies both history and humanity. We created this breed, but it perfected something in us. It showed that loyalty without purpose is wasted, and power without discipline is dangerous. It reminded us that the truest form of control is self-control, and that respect must always flow both ways. Every time a handler clips on the leash, that lesson begins again. It's not about domination. It's about partnership renewed daily. The leash isn't a symbol of control. It's a reminder of connection, responsibility, and trust. Those who understand this live lives transformed by it. Because once you've seen the Malinois in motion, you can't look at any bond the same way again. It becomes a metaphor for mastery, of one's craft, one's self, one's emotion. It teaches that excellence is not a moment, but a lifestyle. That's why the Malinois attracts people who chase purpose. Soldiers, athletes, thinkers, all find a reflection of their own drive in its eyes. But only those with patience discover the deeper truth. The Malinois isn't teaching you how to command. It's teaching you how to listen. Its obedience flows from understanding, not fear. Its loyalty thrives on respect, not submission. That's what separates this breed from all others. It doesn't serve because it must. It serves because it believes. And belief, once earned, is unbreakable. No obstacle, no distraction, no temptation can sever it. Through decades of evolution and devotion, the Malinois has become more than a dog. It's a mirror of human potential, disciplined, island, driven, and deeply feeling. Its story is not one of aggression, but of alignment. A partnership between instinct and intellect, heart and purpose. That's why it endures long after trends fade. Because the qualities it embodies are timeless: courage, intelligence, and loyalty beyond measure. In every generation, those who understand will continue its legacy. They'll pass on the lessons of balance, respect, and duty to those who follow. And as long as the world needs guardians, the Malinois will answer. Not out of obligation, but out of instinct. It was bred to serve, but it lives to connect. And that connection, once formed, lasts a lifetime. So when people ask why this breed inspires such devotion, the answer is simple. Because the Belgian Malinois doesn't just protect lives, it elevates them. It reminds us what we could be if we lived with the same focus, loyalty, and grace. And in that way, it teaches us the deepest truth of all. The Malinois they don't want you to know about isn't dangerous. It's sacred. A living lesson in what happens when power meets purpose. That's the secret the world keeps misunderstanding. And that's why those who truly know this breed guard it not with chains, but with honor. Because to know a Belgian Malinois is to know discipline made flesh, and to love one is to become a better human being.